There are two strategies. One is on the demand side and one is on the business side. So the strategy for me to acquire new users on the business side is to offer incentives to new users. During launch, to be honest,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Influencer Insider. This is Jinan and Jenny from Starfish Agency.
And today our guest is Faye from TapTap Send. Hello, Faye. How are you?
hello Jenny, hello Gina.
Thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
It's a pleasure. Faye, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Introduce TapTap for our audience.
Okay. So hello everyone, I'm Faye Ana. I'm the Philippines country launcher for TapTap Send. It's a zero-fee remittance app to send money to Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. So my main task in the company is to launch and make noise for the Filipino community in the US, UK, Europe, Canada, and UAE.
Thank you, Faye. As you have mentioned, TapTap is worldwide. Like it's in the US, it's in Europe, it's in Asia. How do you feel like in marketing we have to adapt to each region, especially that you are working on different region for Philippines?
It's very overwhelming and it's very time consuming. And I'm super glad to get to know Starfish Agency because it helped me also manage my time. You know, before when I launched TapTap Send a year ago, I was meeting 100 influencers and speaking to them 1 hour each. It was such a nightmare. I'm a mom, I'm a new mom, and this company is also new to me. So I didn't really know what to do. There's no textbook for it. You know, I thought speaking to influencers per se would help me establish relationships with them, but I was wrong. So it was much more efficient when I have Starfish as an influencer agency for me because I get to manage a lot more on the business side, focus on profitability, focus on my metrics, while the experts will handle the relationship building and researching of what influencers will work for me.
Okay, Faye, so as we know that whenever you are marketing for a new brand, you need to access the market in different ways. So, of course, you were not only using influencer marketing. Can you tell us what other forms of marketing did you use?
During launch, to be honest, 70% of my marketing budget and efforts are purely driven by influencers. And that's the truth. Because I really have to be lean, but of course, the management would want to have quick and immediate conversions. So I think on my feet really quickly that what could I get with a $10,000 budget, but also drive 1,000 signups? You know what I mean? So these kinds of influencers are very eager and purposeful to help their demographics because for them also it helps them grow their following. It makes them more credible and they're very relatable in a way that whatever they endorse, people will automatically convert because we learned that users are not really brand loyal, but they're loyal to the person they're following. So regardless whether Jenny introduces a new app, right? And then after 3 months, another app, people will follow her because they believe Jenny. They don't necessarily have to believe the brand, right? So it's really the personality behind the brand that makes it very conversion driven for us. Like we invested, for example, $5,000 or $10,000. I know for sure that we're gonna get 100 new users, and from that, 1,000 downloads. And it's a repetitive cycle every month, right? That's why we have to refresh also the kind of influencers we onboard. And that takes a lot of research. That takes a lot of vetting, right? That takes a lot of negotiation for budget and, making it sure that those influencers who need a lot of handholding and push in terms of creativity, the influencer agency can already manage them. Whereas for other influencers who can just do their own thing and just be on the liberty to be as creative as possible, the influencer agency also knows how to handle them because you already know what best works for them. So I really appreciate also when you guys asked me and very curious about understanding the brand, understanding Filipinos. So usually a lot of Filipino brands don't go into big marketing spend or even influencer marketing at that point, right? But of course, with the ever-changing and fast-paced digital trends and scene, we also have to go with the flow, right? We also notice that 70% of millennials are actually on their phones 9 hours, right? Truth be told, in TapTap Send, 85% of my users are millennials. So it means that in terms of success rates, we nudged the right niche, we onboarded the right influencers because it shows in our numbers. When we launched in March, so 95% of our new users acquisition is from influencers. But now,
90%?
yes, 90%. It was heavily driven by inorganic sign up. So we heavily rely on influencer spend, as in there's no way that this could, F up. You know what I mean? But now, 1 year after launch, we saw a healthy split of 50% influencers or inorganic and 50% referrals or word of mouth. So the seeds we planted before using influencers have now shown success. So it really takes time.
So yeah, definitely first you started with the brand awareness. Like people now are more familiar with the name of TapTap Send. Like for me, when I see it and I hear it TapTap Send, so I can directly relate like to money transfer app, zero fees, zero transfer. What's the strategy? Can you tell us about more about the strategy of this zero fees first transfer? You have 25 dirham bonus or 15, what is it in dollars? $5 bonus.
Yes. So there are two strategies. One is on the demand side and one is on the business side. So the strategy for me to acquire new users on the business side is to offer incentives to new users so they could try the app. So for TapTap Send, you can send for as low as 50 dirhams in your home country. On top of the new users that the influencers are offering you, which is 25 dirhams. So you get that for free. And also the transaction fee is free. So for them to experience the app, they don't need a lot of investment. We even pay for that experience, right? And in that way, we also gain organic feedback from these people. Like, I'm not happy with this X, Y, and Z, or I'm really happy with this. Keep it up. So we also gain a lot of insights for product development. So since we are very lean, we allow users to improve the app with us. So that's what's good about incentivizing new users for experience. On the demand side, we also have an ambassador structure where influencers are paid into three schemes. One is on the fixed fee. This is the payment for their content. The second one is commissions. They get paid for each new user they onboarded. And lastly, they get bonuses. So whenever they hit a milestone, for instance, if they onboarded 100 new users, they get 1,000 dirhams as a bonus on top of the commissions and the fixed fee. This way, we're able to get them for long term and they can do more. Like as I've mentioned a while ago, apart from posting, they also would want to help with customer service. They also would want to attend events on my behalf because I'm in UAE and I can't travel every time. So one of my influencers in Canada, I gave her a budget to launch like a campaign or a meet and greet in Canada. So she just says, Faye, can you please sponsor me 3,000 Canadian dollars? From that, I can get 300 new users. Lo and behold, overnight, she got that. So I also trust my influencers to represent the brand. That's one way for me to also incentivize them in working with us for long term.
Okay, Faye, so we already established that you choose the influencers based on the culture, the religion, and you take into consideration everything from the country that you're choosing them from. However, there's definitely a few criteria that is the same everywhere for you or for TapTap for choosing the influencers you work with and also choosing the agency you work with. So can you tell us more about how you pick?
Okay, so going back into launch, I was a one-woman team. So a regular person would just Google like Filipinos in Canada or Filipinos in UAE. And whoever is on the top search, I'll just message them. But of course, like these people are sometimes handled by their talent managers already. So the quick around time is so long, but I really need to launch next week because my targets are waiting for me. So it was like a 3 months of trial and error. I onboarded everyone regardless of their niche. I onboarded 3 for fashion, 5 for beauty, 7 for food, 3 for tech, everything. Because for me, if this doesn't work, at least I have data.
Exactly.
And then when I hit pre-Christmas, I know this is gonna be a big volume driver for the business. This is like the heart and soul of the remittance industry for the Filipinos, right? I told myself I couldn't do this alone. For a very important season or a campaign, I really need someone to complement my weaknesses and build up on my strengths. So with the 3 months or 6 months of data gathering, it helped me also find the right influencer agency. I've interviewed lots of them, both in UAE and the Philippines, and no one can dodge the bullet. Not until I met Jenny for Starfish Agency. What's good about Jenny is that I gave her 3 conditions. This is the goal, this is the budget, and this is my target audience. What I really appreciate about her is she's really curious into understanding the brand by heart, not just by because I want to launch it now or I want to target X, Y, and Z Filipinos in Fujairah or whatever. But she really took time, as in we sat together in a call for 1 long hour. I showed her how the app works. I tell her my experiences with the fashion influencers, with the food influencers, with the humorous influencers. And those are the things that I told her, but those are main facts. Jenny stepped in and says, okay, makes sense. Now she's the one taking into action and trying to think of a creative strategy to approach the data I've given her. So she never recommended another food vlogger because we already understand that food vloggers doesn't work. So she really tried her best to look for Filipinos who are actually relatable regardless of their niche. So she kind of take into consideration the quality of the messaging also, right? So even if this guy has 100 brands per month, but the messaging is not authentic or it's very generic, we always align and say, no, she sounds very scripted. Maybe you can push her to do a lot of creative approaches. So that's what really helped me cracking this Christmas campaign. Lo and behold, even if we launch in December and January, the effects and the conversions are still showing up to this date. So for instance, we onboarded 20 in total, right?
Yes.
Those 20 have given me 200 new users in December, but now their promo codes are still used because their contents are evergreen. It's just there. And whenever people try to search for TapTap Send Filipino, the contents of the influencers are showing because Jenny also suggested captions which work for SEO. So those things she didn't tell me, but I know she was trying her best to also insert those kinds of SEO tactics. So for a brand, we don't need to heavily invest on SEO paid ads too, right? So
It
all
will be organically.
yes, so for me, it wasn't a one-off investment. It was a long-term investment. It's like as if we're planting seeds, right? And good news, other corridors who just launched last month, like Egypt, Morocco, Lebanon,
Oh, excellent.
they're actually benefiting from
From-
the seeds that we planted because most of the people who are users now from Lebanon or Africa have seen the Filipino contents. And it was very strategic when you pushed me to say that, Faye, let's make it in English or probably do it in Taglish. So other
People
you know,
like
other
understand
people,
other like when we were like when choosing influencer we base and we select influencers based on a star meter.
Correct.
And when seeing their insights and their audience locations, we see that Filipinos are not strictly followed by Filipinos, especially here in UAE. We have from Arab countries, we have from Egypt. So this is why we are more focusing on having like content in English or Taglish so we can reach the more audience and we can connect with more people. So yeah, this
And
is why
that's
you
really
can see
good.
like
Yeah.
from Egypt using the promo code of Filipinos here.
And I also felt like you were not after for money or for the sake of just posting it. You really wanted to knock this campaign for excellence because you know that this will help a lot of people. Like it's not like a regular product that hey, buy a deodorant or buy a makeup,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's something. It's also a very purposeful brand for Starfish to work with. Like it's something like when you meet someone, hey, I saw the influencer, which agency recommended that to you? Ah, it's Starfish Agency. So for me, even for now, it makes me very happy to give a testimonial because your work is really successful. Mm.
I also think that part of what made this campaign successful is that we, as well as you, want authentic and genuine content because a lot of times either the client wants fake, very
Scripted.
ad-like content from influencers, or sometimes agencies go for that because it might be easier. So I give the influencer a script and they have to follow it, so it makes the job easier.
Mm.
So I think the chemistry here was that we like genuine and authentic content, and we'd like to give the influencers space for creativity, and this is what you were looking for as well.
Yes. So we totally aligned and vibe on that front. And I'm truly thankful for Starfish also because apart from challenging also the input that I'm putting on, you were also solid in saying, no, Faye, it needs to be genuine. Like even if they put in a lot of even if you put a lot of talking points, their creativity still needs to be upheld. Whenever we tell them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it never really translated
Yeah.
out.
Faye, thank you so much for joining us today. I guess we covered everything related to TapTap Send and influencer marketing. It's been a pleasure working with you, and hopefully, we'll have the chance to work on other future campaigns together. Guys, thank you for watching. That was another episode from Influencer Insider. Faye, thank you again for joining us. It's a pleasure. Uh, don't forget to download TapTap Send and see you at the next episode.
Bye.